There is an ancient Japanese philosophy that you probably not even heard about, because it's not even in the Japanese dictionary. Look around you at all these perfect people living a perfect life. Instagram stories, TikTok videos, in which everyone looks like a model and living the most interesting life. And there is you. You are not perfect. Your life is kinda boring, and you feel like an imposter. You try to fit in, you try to do perfect work, but the more you try it, it just becomes worse. So one day you decide that you will search for the ancient philosophy of Wabi Sabi. You pack all your things, and next morning you catch the first ship that goes to Japan. It's an old ship, little bit mossy, with a few cracks, but you don't even notice. You spend most of the time talking with the captain. Turns out he's one of the most interesting person you have ever met. He opens up to you and talks about his life, the adventures he went on, and you find him such an interesting human. You don't even try to hide that he has flaws or that he's not perfect. He's actually proud of these things. Next day you arrive, but just as you arrive, you slip into the mud. It's not enough that you smell like fish because of the old ship, but now your clothes are covered in mud. You started this journey to become like your friends on social media, but you feel like you're just making a fool of yourself. But as you are at the edge of a mental breakdown because you can't handle the thoughts of others judging you, an old lady comes to you and asks, "Can I help you?" You go with the old lady to her small hut where she washes your clothes and offers you a warm meal. You tell her why you are in this village and what is your mission. The old lady doesn't really understand what you want, but she sends you to the monk who lives in the forest near the village. Next day, with your backpack packed up, you start your little adventure to the forest to find the monk. You quickly arrive at a small hut, you knock on the door and you go inside. The monk is sitting there and drinking green tea. You get into a conversation with him and start to talk about your problem. The monk sits silently a little bit and asks you, "Why do you want to be perfect?" "Come with me." The monk shows you the forest and says, "Do you think that the trees are perfect? Or the water in the pond is perfect? Or that the sound of the birds are perfect?" You find this idea interesting, and you answer, "No, they are not, but they are all parts of nature." "You are also part of nature," says the monk. "And nature isn't perfect. Only soulless boring robots that don't have personality are perfect. Do you want to be like that?" This thought hits you at your core. You start to reflect. You think about the captain that smelled like fish, the old lady that washed your clothes. They wasn't perfect. Neither they tried to be. They were perfectly imperfect. They knew that if they tried to be like everyone else, they would suppress their interesting personality. Okay guys, so this is the realization I had because I always was a perfectionist. But after this, after learning about this philosophy called Wabi Sabi, I realized that being imperfect is so much better because it helps me build closer relationship with people. It stops me from trying to be, because people can relate to me more. I will stress less and I will get much more. I will stress less because the philosophy of Wabi Sabi was something life-changing for me, and I hope it will. The philosophy of Wabi Sabi. Okay guys, I will be honest, but I just realized that I'm still not finally cured from this perfectionism thing. I still have a lot of problem with it and it kinda sucks. I realized I have to learn more about this thing because it sucks.
For me, I've never really been a perfectionist. I feel like I just do things half baked. I really get excited about ideas quickly. I get excited about all kinds of things, And essentially, for me, it's never really been a problem where I try to be a perfectionist, mostly because there wasn't anything I really truly felt passionate about until Novel. So Novel is a company startup that I'm building. It's an online library. What I realized with Novel is that I had this idea of perfectionism when I was starting out.
I definitely still have problems with it from time to time, but I've gotten a lot better with it. It can depend. Sometimes I do get super perfectionistic about certain, like, videos that I'm editing. That's like the main thing I would get perfectionistic about.
It's better to aim for 80% so that you know when it kind of stops. You have to have that boundary for yourself on like when to say, okay, this thing is good enough.
What really helped for me was just to not be too hard on yourself. Often it's painful to upload something that you feel like it's not ready yet, but also what I realized is that you will only get to this like perfect state by doing it.
Try and make it, like populated with too many like images or ads, which it does now. Like it's playing around with it.
After asking 4 people, learning about the Asian philosophy, and even buying an audiobook, I thought I have to quit. At this stage, I feel like, I don't know, maybe it's just a personality trait basically, but like we are, I don't know, basically I don't know. Yeah, I maybe just have to. As usually, I went to bed, but today I decided to read a book I have been putting aside. It was a book called Essentialism. I still remember reading it, as the author made 2 categories, the non-essentialist and the essentialist. The non-essentialist did everything, tried to fit in everything, and the essentialist only did the essential, and doesn't try to fit in everything if it wasn't essential. I started to think about this theory, and it somehow reminded me of the book called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. AKA, you have to give a fuck about something to not give a fuck about everything. And after remembering this, it finally clicked. First I have to decide what is the thing that I want to give a fuck about. After it, I should look at my work and ask, what is the essential part of this? And only be a perfectionist with that 20%. This new rule resulted in better output from my side under less time. I stressed less on the little non-essential things and rather focused on the essential ones. But the real question, did this eliminate my perfectionism? I thought so guys. But then I did a journaling exercise from Andrew Kirby and I realized my biggest problem is still perfectionism. I had to upload this video a month ago and it's still not uploaded, the one that you're watching currently. I tried out a lot of different things and looks like I randomly found something that works. I can't believe this, guys, and it's funny, but it works. Let me explain. I think perfectionism comes from trauma. For example, I remember that my classmates made fun of me for making videos, and probably this caused me becoming extremely perfectionism when it comes to content creation. So I realized that I have to stop caring about what people think. And this is the thing I discovered. If you want to be a real imperfectionist, you seriously have to give zero fuck about what people think of you and your work. This is the only way to get better, to defeat perfectionism. But the question is, how? How you do it? Here is 3 changes I implemented that made a big change on me. First of all, I started to build momentum. I realized I was in a rut, and slowly I started to stack easy tasks to build momentum. I looked around myself. What are the small things I can do right now to build up that self-esteem, to build that momentum, to get going, to get the ball rolling? Then phase 2 came. Now that I built up my self-esteem, I started to focus on changing my beliefs. I started to listen to affirmations from Dejaru 22, and I have to say it worked. And most importantly, I changed my phone background to an affirmation. Let me ask you, how often do you check your phone daily? 5 times? 10 times? 25 times? Or even 65 times? Imagine seeing an affirmation 65 times during the day. This is why I changed my background to this Drex JPEG wallpaper. And you know guys, I want to say that defeating this fear that you care about what others think is some complicated thing, but this is the easy way I found, and it works. And you know, I can't lie, this works like a wonder. As I implemented them in the last few days, content creation for me became effortless. I no longer care about what people think, I have a lot of moments, and I get a lot more done under a day than I did previously under a week. I just recorded today 7 short videos, made a podcast, made a newsletter, made a testimonial, and now recorded this video. Thanks for watching, and here is your action items.
Welcome action takers, it's me Zen. I hope you enjoyed this video. You just learned the importance of changing your beliefs. A new folder in your virtual backpack just appeared that will help you reprogram your limiting beliefs. Also, the secret to building up the right mindset can be found in this video. See you there.